Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing one of the signature models from one of the great brands in high horology. This is the Girard Perregaux WW.TC World Time Chronograph, reference 49805 in white gold, a timepiece originally launched in the year 2000 that has come to define Girard Perregaux, often considered to be on par with the Zeniths, Jaeger LeCoultres, and Glashütte Originals of the world as a complete and accomplished manufacturer. Now, the watch is 43 millimeters in white gold on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's large. 53.8 from lug to lug. It's the shape of the lugs that help this one to work on a smaller wrist. The timepiece isn't terribly thick, but it's not terribly thin. 13.6, it might be surprisingly slim given the modular compound complication, but the dome profile of the bezel is what really helps it to fit not just underneath jacket cuffs, but also shirts. 22 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs, so it has a nice modern stance on the wrist. And a beefy strap to match. You can see sheer sides showing the layers of construction, large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss, with a monotone stitch. Appreciate these semi-curved spring bars that let the lugs to be drilled close to the case without creating any contact between strap and case. So you can pull this one straight down around the tight curve of a small wrist. And note the curve of the case. It arcs around the wrist rather than flaring out. That's why this nearly 54 millimeter lug-to-lug watch will wear well on a wrist as small as 14.5 centimeters circumference. The clasp is equal to the challenge of keeping this mighty machine anchored. White gold, 18 karat to match, a folding clasp to anchor the opposite side of the strap and prevent droppage while donning or removing. The case is simple but strong. As you can see, it's almost like a giant Calatrava with blended lugs, satin finished flanks, polished hoods, and of course there's that shape. It bends like a banana, and that does make a difference ergonomically. Appreciate the difference between finishing on the flank, which is horizontal, and the finishing between the lugs, which is vertical. Just in case the strap does come in contact with the case, it will minimally mar the finish because of the vertical striation. The crown is distinctive, and it's distinctively doubled, as one on the 3 o'clock side actually adjusts the watch, and the one on the 9 o'clock side adjusts the world time reference ring. Lozenge style pushers, a little bit of a vintage flourish on this timepiece. Let's give ourselves a bit more light and move in closer. You'll appreciate that this watch goes all out with complication. No detail is spared. It starts with a world time ring outboard, and you use that to set your reference city. Your reference city is set at 12 o'clock, so I'm in Philadelphia. I'm going to set New York, since I'm on the east coast of the United States, as my reference time. So now you can see that the time is between 17 and 18, so it's between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and then you look at your minutes and you're like, oh, okay, it's, for example, 5:20. And then it'll be 5:25 and 5:30. And so you can do this for any reference city. You can see in Denver, it's between 3 and 4 and 20 minutes. You can see in Anchorage, it's between 1 o'clock and 2. And you repeat that same pattern all around the dial to read the time in any of the world's 24 principal time zones, each one represented by an important reference city distinctive of that time zone. Also note that the reference ring is 2 semicircles, one black, one white, depicting day and night, so you know when not to call those far-flung friends and business associates. The dial is also nicely layered, starting with the world time reference ring. You jump down to the counter-rotating 24-hour ring. It's a counterclockwise rotator. And then you jump down again to the dial where you have an applique white gold Arabic numeral 12 and then applique white gold indices, a beautifully loomed watch. All of this ends with a deeply sunken date, and that like an Audemars Royal Oak offshore, because there's a module for the chronograph and the world time on top. And then countersunk registers for each of the constant seconds, chronograph or constant seconds, chronograph minutes, and chronograph hours, leaf style hands in white gold at center, with a lacquered white counterweighted seconds hand for the chronograph. Now the timepiece has a lot going on under the hood. Also appreciate the deep sunburst graining that radiates out from the center of this dial. It's a handsome composition of grayscales with just enough fine flourishes of gold and red. Incredibly handsome, but subtle. Turn it over, and you can argue that the majority of the color is on the case back, with the Côte de Genève blazon 18 karat winding mass in red gold, not the usual yellow. Also appreciate the fact that a micro perlage is executed around the edge of the bridges. This on the base plate, micro perlage on the base plate is a distinctive finishing trait of GP. Blued screws, linear Côte de Genève, as opposed to the circular across the bridges. And let's get super close, and as close as we can, and keep it in focus. Now you're looking at Girard Perregaux manufacturer caliber 3387, automatic 63 joules, 46-hour power reserve, thanks to the screw-down crowns. It's probably the most robust 30 meters water resistant I've ever encountered. Also, it features stop seconds and a quick set date, in addition to a vertical clutch chronograph that is exceptionally smooth and can be left running. It also features the world time complication and beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. Fun feature, there is a remarkable amount of graphics on this Girard Perregaux 3000 series family member. All the 3000 series watches feature a remarkably overt crown release switch and a mainspring barrel load release switch. So that's actually there for your watchmaker to pull the crown and let down the mainspring barrel, and those little levers and release button are actually noted by small arrows that are engraved into the bridge. That's overkill, but again, nice to have if you are a Girard Perregaux watchmaker. This is a timepiece that puts it all together, and on top of everything else, it's got blazing lume, which you're about to see. If you want something that's not another Patek Philippe, not another Richemont brand Vacheron or Jaeger-LeCoultre, not another IWC, and hell, not another Longa. This is a totally off-the-radar brand that's poised for a comeback with a grand history and a bright future. Girard Perregaux is one for the future, but this watch is one for the present. Put it on your wrist, on the watch box. Girard Perregaux WWTC World Time Chrono.